Welcome back to Small College Conversations. I'm Kristen Eargle alongside Dustin Wilke, Sun Conference Commissioner. Thanks for being on today.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Let's start broadly. What's the state of the conference and some of those opportunities for growth that you see for the league right now?
Yeah, well, I'm biased, but I think the Sun Conference is as strong as it's ever been. We started in 1990, and there's been transitions certainly in leadership and membership and different sports. But I feel like where we're at currently, we're in a great position. We have 10 strong members. We had four of the top 13 in last year's Learfield Cup standings, which is certainly a great accomplishment. So, not only competitively, but operationally, I feel like we've taken strides every year to make sure we're giving our coaches, student athletes a great experience anywhere they go in the Sun Conference. We have great leadership at the presidential level, athletic directors, coaches across the board, you name it. We have great people, which as you know is where it all starts. So we're very blessed as a conference. I'm thankful to be in the position I am to sort of in some ways be along for the ride. As the commissioner, you can impact some things, but in other ways, you're just supporting your member institutions. So I'm very thankful that we have a strong group and looking forward to continuing to see that grow. There's always opportunities for growth. I would say in any aspect, we're not where we want to be. We're always striving for that next level. So, we continue to push and meet regularly and find new ways where we can enhance something that we're doing or add a little something here or there to just continue to grow and set the standard. Our goal is always as a conference to set the standard for all conferences in the NAI and wherever we have an opportunity to do that. It's an area for growth and continuing to push and get better as a conference.
There's so many things I want to ask you as a follow-up to that. So let's start with last October, your conference announced football scheduling partnership with Mid-South Conference for 25 and 26 season. You previously signed an agreement with the SSAC. So talk to me about some of these partnerships and the goals there, how they benefit your member institutions.
Yeah, we're very excited about both of those. Starting with the Mid South Conference partnership. For those that don't know, our members were part of the Mid South in football specifically a few years back. So there was sort of a natural familiarity with those institutions to start with. And we're all looking for scheduling solutions, I think. So when we started having those discussions, it was easy. The Mid South has been a great partner from the very beginning. The ultimate goal is just to create stability with our football schedules. We have 8 full football playing members, which gives us 7 league games a year. Most of our members look for 10 or 11 if they can in a year. And we want to, or I should say, our members want games that they know are going to be on the schedule, not only against an NAI opponent, which we prefer, but strong NAI opponents. The Mid-South has a great reputation, great institutions, and we know that we're going to get quality games out of this partnership. So that's very exciting. So we've got that for the next 2 years, which is just going to bring, again, stability to our football schedules and save our schools the headache of trying to find teams in some cases to come down to South Florida. I know you're familiar with that part of the country, so it's difficult sometimes to get an NAI school to come down to play a football game in their non-conference schedule. So we're thankful for that. It's just going to make our football schedules easier to format moving forward. Beyond that, I'm a strong advocate of more non-conference play in NAI football. There are conference who will only play in conference, not play any non-conference games, which I certainly understand. But I think for the health of the overall sport nationally, these kinds of games are good for NAI football to help grow and sort of test yourself against other conferences and establish where you are competitively with them. And certainly as you get to postseason, that data is informational to help guide who qualifies for the playoffs at the end of the day. So I think, again, something we're very excited about for a number of reasons. The Southern States you mentioned has been an outstanding partner for us. Their commissioner, Mike Hall, and I have a great relationship, and we came together several years ago and looked at some sports where we both had a handful of schools, but not enough to sponsor as a conference. So we just said, why don't we partner and co-sponsor these essentially, and create a championship experience for our teams that have these, rather than having to compete as an independent and find their own way essentially. So that's been a great partnership. We're in I believe our third or fourth year of that now, and it's been great. It's provided so many solutions that we wouldn't have had otherwise. So again, very thankful for the support of the SSAC and their partnership, and we're certainly looking to extend that and make sure that that continues down the road to the benefit of both of our members.
Now, the conference has expanded into emerging sports, including esports, beach volleyball, and seen success with flag football. How do you see these additions having such a positive influence on the conference's growth and appeal?
Yeah, great question. Beach volleyball is a natural one for us with our geography. We're pretty much everyone in our league is near a beach, so that was a natural one, and sort of enhances what our schools were already doing with their indoor programs. Some will have an entirely separate beach program, which is great as well, and helps to grow the athletic departments even more. Really excited about women's flag football, which is exploding, as I'm sure you know, at the high school and collegiate level. We're very proud as in the Sun Conference to be the first collegiate conference to sponsor women's flag football at any level, and that's only grown. Since then, more and more adding, as you see, at all levels, and we're sort of proud. We're very proud to be on the front end of that. Esports as well is something we started last year, and all three of these have given us an opportunity to attract some affiliate members from other conferences who might not have had a home elsewhere, and give additional exposure to the Sun Conference. Through that, we certainly, are glad to have the affiliate members that we do in each of those three sports, and it's allowed us to grow and enhance the experience for our full members as well. So, really just growth in a number of ways through these emerging sports, and it's always fun to be sort of on the cutting edge, adding these sports that not many others have, and seeing it grow, knowing you're a catalyst in that growth.
You're right. Flag football is exploding across all levels of athletics. Finding and retaining quality officials is definitely a challenge. How have you tackled this issue? What ways have you found ways to overcome these shortages?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not sure we've overcome them. Like you said, it's a challenge everywhere at all levels. Finding officials has become harder. I don't know that as many people look at it as a uh, profession or something they want to get into, just because of all the challenges that they deal with at most levels. You're not going to make a living as an official, even at the college level. So it has to be something that you love to do, or you're wanting to stay connected to the sport in some way. So we work directly with our supervisors of officials in each sport to help us identify potential markets for new officials. They host camps, they're out scouting, they're looking at potentially high school officials, maybe at other collegiate levels as well, who might be good fit for our conference. Sometimes we'll tap into institutions. We, as I mentioned, maybe sometimes people want to just stay connected to the sport. So you have graduating senior who is maybe not going to go play professionally, but wants to remain engaged. So it's a prime market, I think, for us to find new officials and get them in and develop them, and hopefully keep them for a long time. You mentioned retaining them. That's a challenge as well, for sure. Some are, moving to different levels where they maybe will, um, maybe it's geography, maybe it's uh, the prestige, what have you, I guess. But some will just decide they don't want to do it anymore as well. And we feel like that we can control in a number of ways, making sure that, one, we're taking good care of them when they're going to one of our institutions, making sure they have a good experience, a place to stay, they're happy with everything and have everything that they need. Certainly making sure we're competitive from a game fee standpoint, and keeping with the market there. Just, I think, the way that we treat them, that it's a thankless job. As everyone knows, officiating is hard, but you're only really you're only really getting that light shown on you when you're making a mistake, or if someone perceives that you did. So it's a thankless job. So we want to make sure that we make sure that they know that they're appreciated, and highlight them for the good that they're doing for our league and for athletics everywhere as well.
You're the chair for the NAIA Conference Commissioners Association. Not just that challenge, I'm sure that comes up as well, but so what's kind of the broader challenges that are facing NAIA right now?
Yeah, honored to be the chair of the CCA right now. We've got an outstanding group of commissioners. We just met last month in Atlanta for our annual retreat. It's always a great opportunity to have discussions about what's really going on behind the scenes and how we can, as a group, impact that and influence towards solutions or better outcomes. I think the biggest challenge right now with the NAI, and it's probably not a new challenge, but it's awareness. It's making sure that people know, one, that the NAI exists, and if they do, making sure they don't default to that assumption that it's not as high a quality or it's not as good of institutions or members. We know, those of us that are in the NAI know, and that we have great institutions who are doing great things competitively. We have great athletes. You just have to see it, right, to know it. And if you that's the challenge that the NAI faces, because not a lot of people know about it or get to see it to understand the level of play and level of institutions that are a part of it. So I think continuing to do that. I know the NAI is working on some broader initiatives in that regard that I think are going to be exciting here coming up soon. But yeah, I think it's just letting more people know about all the good things that are going on with the NAI, and finding solutions to that, I think, is going to solve a lot of the other challenges that are in place with the NAI.
Tagging off of that, you talked about branding a little bit. Well, you talked about positioning. When you think about some of the conferences have worked together with Steel Curtain U to pursue sponsorships as a group, what benefits have you seen from that partnership?
Yeah, Steel Curtain has been a great partner for 3+ years now for us, and you mentioned a number of other conferences as well. They've given us access that we wouldn't have had otherwise to a number of great partnerships. They do an awesome job of collaborating and making sure that we're aware of the different options that are out there in terms of potential conference sponsorships, and then seeing those through and maintaining them as well. I think as a group, conferences see the value in working together. More volume gives you greater bargaining power. At the end of the day, there's a business aspect to all this. So I think we're seeing that benefit, and just using our collective strength to not only in the sponsorship space. I think that's important, certainly for all of us, but the more of us working together towards end goals and whatever it is, whether it's NAI initiatives or things that maybe we're working on in our own conferences, but maybe could be more effective working together to solve the same solution as a group. I think that just makes sense at the end of the day, and it sort of goes back to our CCA and the leaders in that room. Bringing those ideas together and being willing to share openly and discuss things and figure out how we can find solutions together. So yeah, we're again thankful for the Steel Curtain partnership, but more broadly, I think we just are coming to a better understanding about how we can work together and affect change by collaborating rather than working in silos, or even worse, against each other.
That's true.
Mhm.
How do you evaluate the positioning of your league right now? You are at 10 members.
Yeah, no, we're happy. We've got 10 fantastic members. If we stayed at 10, we'd be happy with that, as long as we have strong members. There's not one set number, I don't think, that we're necessarily striving for. We'd be happy to stay at 10. At the same time, we're always open to growth as well. We've always said, more so than in getting to a number, we just want quality institutions who are a good fit for our conference and will share in the mission and the standard that we've set, and work together with everyone else to strive towards that. So we're always open to growth, adding new members wherever that may come from. Um, in our situation, we're primarily in Florida, so geographically, there's not a lot of options for expansion. Um, outwardly geographically. So that needs, if we're to grow, that needs to come from other areas primarily. But yeah, we're always looking. It's on every agenda that we have. Just how are we as a membership? What are we looking to do long term? And anytime there's an opportunity that comes up to grow, we certainly vet it. And just last year we added New College of Florida, who is new to college athletics generally, but we've been very happy with them. Brought them on there in their first year as a member, and have done a great job competitively, operationally. They've been a great fit for us, so we're excited to have them. And again, as opportunities present themselves, we look to do the same with others.
Let's talk about you. You are now in year 7 in leading the conference. I mean, if you take a look at it personally, look over the span of your career. Did you ever think you would be a conference commissioner?
Yeah, well, I don't know if that was necessarily a goal. Um, we were talking earlier. It's not something that a lot of kids probably grow up thinking that they're wanting to be a conference commissioner, as opposed to the star quarterback, the starting pitcher, the head coach that wins national championships every year. It's not first and foremost. I don't think it's not always the most glamorous, but it's certainly an important role, I feel, as well. So I'm very thankful that my path led me to this role, and not only just as a conference commissioner, but this specific one with the Sun Conference again. Um, I'm blessed to be able to work with great institutions who have great leaders who, in some ways, make my job easy. So yeah, to answer your question, no, I don't think that was on the radar growing up, but couldn't be more pleased with how it's turned out.
And a career that's still unfolding. But to this point, what are you
Yeah.
most proud of that you've had an impact on?
In the Sun Conference, I think growth at the sports sponsorship space. When I started, we had 15 sports. We're now up to 24. I mentioned flag football, which was again the first conference at any level to sponsor flag football. On the women's side, also brought in football on the guys' side. We've had a team in the national championship every year that we've sponsored football, so it's been a source of pride. Obviously, I had nothing to do with that on the field, but still cheering them on hard. We launched the Sun Digital Network to stream all of our games, get all of our schools on a single platform. So for Sun Conference fans, you can all go to the Sun Digital Network, find any game you're looking for in any sport, which has been great for us. From a marketing and visual standpoint. A few years ago, we launched a rebrand of the conference, which was almost a year-long undertaking, a lot of analysis, a lot of conversations, and individuals involved in that process. Certainly very happy with how it played out, but it's a big undertaking as well. Everyone who lived through the COVID years has a different story and battle scars from that. But certainly proud of the way that we managed that in our conference, and we're able to give as many opportunities as we could for student athletes to compete. Obviously, safely, a lot of different challenges that came with that, but just the overall effort and shared mission within the conference, and making sure everyone was, despite different opinions at times, moving in the same direction. And having positive outcomes in the end was something that I think was a source of pride for me, and how it all played out over time.
Dustin, thank you so much for your time and continued success.
Thank you, Kristen.